Hi, I'm Jakub. I'm normally head of backend at LeanCode, but today let's talk about Flutter and our little story with something that might not be commonly associated with Flutter, and it is SAP. I believe that most of you might have used SAP at one point in the professional journey. If not, SAP is this big ERP system that basically allows you to do every process inside of your company, whether it's HR, finances, accounting, supply chain management, warehouse management, and so on and so forth. It does everything for you. But let's start with a simple question. Why we did start with SAP, with SAP? Because as we all know, Flutter is proven in enterprises already. It is used in banking, as we've seen previously. It is used in automotive. It is used in healthcare. It is used in a different IoT kind of thingies. But there was one thing missing, and it was internal enterprise software, SAP software. So why was that? SAP is not really that much of a mobile software. It started as a desktop application. It is now somewhat moving to web applications, but there are more and more use cases where real mobile application would be useful because the processes that people do, they still are done on mobile, and using web on mobile is not that good. But how our story with SAP started, because a couple of months back, one of our clients came to us and said that they have 50, 60 SAP mobile applications done in some technology. It doesn't matter which it is. And they needed to move to Flutter because they already use Flutter in their customer-facing apps, and they want to use it also for their internal applications. And we said, why not? Let's test how SAP works with Flutter. And here I don't want to tell you what we've really built, but I want to tell you the story what we found out. Because normally with Flutter you rely on great user experience, great UI. With SAP, it's also important, but there's also another thing that is very, 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 very crucial for it, is that people using SAP, people using SAP applications are used to the SAP interface, and it is quite specific. And it's not a bad thing. Not every application needs to have all the fireworks. Sometimes you just want to see the data cleanly. You just want to see it very quickly. And SAP is designed for that. It has its own design system. It's called Fiori. And basically every application uses it. Not all of them, but most of them at least. But there is one big problem with Fiori that we found out. Fiori is basically web design system. It's optimized for bigger screens, it's optimized for desktops, it's optimized for a lot of space that you can put information into, but it's not optimized for small screens. And it's a problem because you can't see things when you show it on the mobile. And SAP as a company really realized that. So they designed a variant of Fiori. It's the naming is not that great because they named it Fiori, but appended for Android and iOS. But they have it. It looks like Fiori, it works like Fiori, but it's optimized for mobile. So that's great, problem solved. Unfortunately, it turned out that most of the mobile technology around SAP still uses the Fiori web design system. Even most of the SAP provided technologies rely on the Fiori web variant. And that's bad, because you have bad UI, you have something that is not really usable by the people using the mobile applications. But it has a different drawback, because in the end, it's a web application. It's a web application, responsive web application, but wrapped in a mobile app, and it has only a limited mobile capabilities. You can access camera, you can scan barcodes, but if you need some more extensive offline access, if you need to access some GPS, some other peripherals on mobile, it gets tricky. And we found out that most of the applications that the client wanted to use needed something like that. Maybe not everyone needed, every application needed GPS, but most of them needed barcode scanning. Some of them needed some offline storage and offline work. And people really demanded that. But with the web approach, it was not possible. So that was the moment when we realized that we can't really rely on what already exists. We need to build something else. So we need to build something that gives us the possibility to access the native app, not access the native capabilities, have great UX on mobile, and be basically cheap to build, because the current mobile ecosystem around SAP is built on low-code. And low-code, as you know, is great to start. Like there are like a couple of approaches. One of them is basic drag and drop, and you can have an application done really quickly. But unfortunately, low-code approaches scale quite poorly, because when the app grows, it gets tricky to extend it. But nevertheless, that's something we need to tackle. We can't really go to a company that needs SAP application, tell them that now you have to write custom code, custom application for your simple internal purposes, whether that would cost you like 3 months of work, where previously you needed 3 days to have something ready. And of course, as you would expect, we already have a solution for that, and that's AI. But to make AI work, as you've already heard from the previous talks, you need a couple of building blocks. You have to have great contracts. You have to great architecture. You have to have all these things in place to make it really work. And last but not least, about the contracts, SAP speaks of data. I think some of you might have heard that. It's an old technology developed by Microsoft. Think GraphQL. I was really thinking that it died a long time ago, but it turns out no, it lives on. And this is bread and butter for SAP applications. So we needed to, we also need to really support that well. And unfortunately, in the Flutter and Dart ecosystem, there are no OData clients, because no one uses OData right now, apart from the SAP ecosystem. So that was another thing that we needed to build. So having the Fiori design system for mobile already done, already solved, although not used, knowing what the clients expect, knowing that they need to have the native capabilities, knowing that they need to build the apps quickly, and knowing that they need to integrate with SAP quite deeply, we basically went and created Flutter SDK for SAP. So we took the 3 main points and built a product that allows you to quickly build an application that you can deploy to your SAP ecosystem inside your company, that integrates with SAP well, that looks like SAP application, and that you can build it in Flutter and have access to all the native capabilities that you would need. Of course, underneath, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to force anyone to create some crazy infrastructure underneath. It still speaks normal SAP. We are able to adapt it to any basically SAP deployment, whether it's on BTP, whether it's the ECC old SAP, whether it's the S/4HANA, the new one, we can do so. And we have, of course, approaches to the reference architecture for both, for different kinds of deployments, but we can adapt it to the way that your company works. And for a short demo, I don't want to show you too much, because it would be probably boring, but we have this application It doesn't matter what it does. It's about maintenance notifications. So whether you have something to repair, you report it in the application. Of course, the SDK provides all the necessary building blocks around authentication, code generation for the APIs. I said type contracts. You could see how the data, metadata look there. We have it solved. You can then get a normal Dart client. Of course, SAP APIs are one of a kind. They look special, but it's not a problem because AI can solve that. AI can manage to work with that. We have a basic app. What we want to build is basically add a screen to report the notification. We have a Figma generated for that, and as you can see, with a simple prompt, which is might be slightly more extensive than the one shown in the second session of the day, I believe, but it's still quite simple. You can push it to the AI. It will do its job. It will do the plan. It will find how the API works. It will connect with the Fiori design, of course. It will build you the application, as Mateusz said in the previous talk, in a way that works for a normal Flutter application that is consistent with the standards, consistent with the architecture, and then we can basically use it from the get-go, having maybe not so having an experience as a developer that is on par with the low-code one. So we basically do a one prompt and we can get the feature developed. And yeah, as you can see, it just works. Yeah, but basically you can have the feature ready quite quickly. And this is an SDK, so no matter whether you're building a warehouse application with SAP, whether it's some field maintenance, some approval processes, some auditing, or any other enterprise workflow, the SAP fits the SDK fits there. And basically, I know that probably most of you don't work with SAP, but if you know someone at your company that could benefit from it, give me a shout. I will be around. We can find a way to help them. Thank you.